Hello, everybody. Today, this weekend, we've been absolutely spoiled with brand new episodes of Loki, the season finale of Gen V, and the season premiere of Invincible. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Darren After the Credits, the show where we talk about all the new shows and things that come out throughout the week. Today, I am joined once again by Darth Bunyan. Darth Bunyan, how's it going? And we have our mascot down here, 3Dubs. Hasn't seen any of the shows. We're about to absolutely spoil him for about everything that just happened. But he's supposedly okay with it. How is everyone doing today? We are so spoiled, man. Like, yeah, what a weekend. Like, this has been like the weekend like leading up, like for the last several weeks. Everyone's like, this is the weekend of all the superhero content. Gen V, Loki, Invincible, technically Doom Patrol, but we're not talking about Doom Patrol because no one's watching it, and I hate that for them. I feel bad. I'm in the train. How are we kind of did you guys enjoy having all of these episodes to watch?
Yes, very, very much.
Are we talking about Doom Patrol?
we are not. I'm going to get caught up once the season's done because
I think I'm at season 2 last time I saw
it. Stranger's in the house. Noah's in the house. Lance is here. Yeah, that's true, but they're really short, so hopefully I'll be fine. Noah, how's it going, Noah? Yeah, let's just kind of jump in because again, we do have a lot of shows to talk about today. And these are all again very massive episodes. Like massive things happen on each episode of all of these shows. The first one being Loki, season 2, episode 5, which again, this is our penultimate episode of the season. Feels like we just started Loki. Like it feels like we were just here a couple of weeks ago, and I guess that was only a couple of weeks ago. 5 episodes isn't a lot, but it's insane. We're kind of at the end of the season mark. We have one left. We assume it's going to be absolutely bonkers, as the rest of the season has been. I mean, 3Dubs, I know you haven't watched this episode, but like, how has your kind of thoughts been on the episodes that you have seen this season?
Invincible?
Loki.
Okay. So I did binge watch season 1 of Loki again, all the way through. I am kind of like it feels like a how did I put this? When they brought him out of Avengers, where he is the villain, and then somehow within 6 episodes he becomes the hero. Well, like that's too too fast.
So I actually really love that. I love, and especially I would say this season, I actually, you know what, I can kind of get what you're saying, because it does feel like there is this like he is one of the worst to the best of the best very fast. I get that. And I know you've only seen a couple of this season, right? Mm-hmm. But one thing I think they've actually done really, really well in season 2 is I feel like they are balancing the two versions of Loki very well. Taj is here. Taj, we'll get to you in a second, Taj. Don't worry. But I feel like they're balancing the like mischievous side of Loki and the hero wanting to save people Loki. Taj, how are you kind of feeling on like these last couple of Loki? Like how are you kind of feeling?
Now that I've officially caught up, I've been enjoying it. I don't know. With all the random news that's coming out about Marvel, I'm just kind of like, I don't know how to feel right now. I'm just like, I'm enjoying it for what it is, but it's like, if they're going to go a different route, then why am I getting invested?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, but it's you know,
flash issues. He's non-committal.
Speaking of Flash, I finally watched the movie in its entirety. I don't like it.
Neither did I.
I didn't like the
I
movie.
just
I'm
say
sorry.
to three Dub's point, for season one, we don't know how long he's in the TVA, and two, I kind of feel like if you think about it, they break down the absurdity of like comic book like psychology and motives. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole motive of Reverse Flash is absolutely absurd to me. Do you know what I mean? Oh, he stole my crowd. Well, go find another one. You've got super speed. It'll take you seconds. Do you know what I mean? What are you crying for? You know, like you're gonna ruin a whole man's life for this? What the hell? So like, just because of like, oh, I didn't get to be king. Like, if you think about all of the stuff that like Norse mythology and Greek mythology and all of that have in them, what we've got in the MCU is like God light. Do you know what I mean? Like they are some of the most twisted and evil people in history. So we've got just like the bare minimum and him having a giggle. Like he holds humans like in no stead. You know what I mean? So to give like any value to their life, he's not going to. So he can be as cruel as he wants because to him it isn't. You know? So like the twist to him, his character kind of shows that it was acting out and it was there all along. I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
That's definitely a good point. I think definitely like this episode. I don't mean to like jump the gun on this episode, but I think this was such a massive one for Loki and showing his true characters. There's that scene like towards the end. Again, I'm jumping the gun big time here, but like there's this thing where he's like, I just want to save my friends, man. Like, I am selfish. I do have these issues. It isn't just all about saving the world. It is about, I'm a lonely man. I have feelings. I have found a family and a home with like all of these people now, and now all I want to do is get them back. And if saving the world gives me my friends back, that's what he's going to do, I think. And again, I think they've done that balance of like past Loki and current Loki very well. So this episode was a big one for me because I was very excited how they were going to follow up the last episode of Loki, which was one of the most insane endings to a show I've seen in recent years. How like what's your guys' opinion on how we kind of followed up this whole thing? Because again, that was a massive ending.
So Liam, our moderator for the midweek pre-recorded, he said the time skipping is going to kick in, right? So I'm thinking, is that the failsafe, right? The thing was talking about before all the spaghettiing, right? But if that's the case, like, why did it only affect him? And if it's the case, is it the same blast that hit these people that is doing that? Do you know what I mean? Like, how has that happened? Obviously, Sylvie got out of there before the blast hit. Everyone else got. Like, obviously, I thought, yeah, because of the side of the machine that the blast came from, we're going to be getting them, like, multiversally, right? It is. I called it before the episode started. I said Mobius is going to be selling jet skis. Though, like he's not going to be riding them. I was like, yeah. That's like a hanging fruit, right?
Which I'm very happy that they did that. Like I said this last week. I've said this all season. Save that moment for the final ending of the whole show. Like you have to end the whole series with him and Loki riding a jet ski together, like over the sunsets. As this nice bromance moment between the two of them.
Like he's never going to go back, though, is he, Mobius? Like he says, "Oh, I get to go back," but if you think about it, unless he's got like a de-aging machine, like he's rocking up there as a man that's lived millennia and is ancient. You know, that's going to put a real dampener on the kids' lives.
Yeah, I mean that's a good kind of like transition point, because. Like this episode we got to see everyone's original lives, like their lives that they would have lived. We got to see Casey being this like prisoner, like thief man, and he's trying to rob banks, and I thought that was very funny because it is such a massive like turn away from what we normally see from Casey. Like he's normally so nice. Like OB is this like failing author. B-15's like a doctor, which was a doctor in 2012 in New York. So maybe it's a good thing she did get transported with our crew. She may have got like killed by Loki or something, or like the Hulk. I don't know. What was everyone's kind of thoughts on where each character kind of was like in these new timelines?
I'm just checking now, and I think the Frank is a real inmate that tried escaping from Alcatraz.
Yeah.
In 1960 something, which is hilarious. So them tying it in like with DB Cooper being Loki in season 1 and stuff. That's kind of fun. OB makes sense, obviously. I feel like as much as Victor Timely was a safeguard, having him planted there kind of sets him up for the life that he's going to be leading with the book and stuff. And then Mobius obviously has zero like reference for like the Mobius thing, unless like it's literally coming back where he finished. That's left. And then B-15 being a doctor, that also I think will help speak to how fast she came from the TVA rules to, oh my god, these are people, we have to look after them. You know what I mean? She's a doctor who wants to help people. So I like that turn there.
Yeah, sure. Darth Chosen is here. Darth,
what's up?
How did you feel about this? How did you feel about this episode of Loki?
I actually haven't watched this episode of Loki yet, so
Okay.
I don't care about spoilers though. I did see some clips online, so I did see a lot of spoilers. Don't worry. I know what's going on. I know the whole story, so you don't have to worry. I know the whole story.
Okay.
What's up with Marvel
I think I
spaghetti and everyone now?
What's that?
Okay.
I said, what's up with Marvel spaghetti and everyone now? Like, why is that the thing?
Speaking of, right, before I get to like my real issue.
Okay.
Question for the room. How was Sylvie spaghettified when her timeline doesn't exist to spaghetti?
That was a good question, actually.
I gave up on trying to make it make sense. So,
oh, you were right to, because that's my whole big issue, right? And since you started it, right, you set me off. Okay. Everybody else that watched the episode, right? Did they or did they not literally say, well, it's science fiction, who cares? Logic is out the window. They basically told us they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Everybody else pick up on that? Because I feel like it's just like they held up a sign and I've misinterpreted it because I'm going crazy. Like, how can they literally say, well, it's science fiction, who cares?
Yeah.
Just go for it.
With OB, right?
Yeah. It's not science, it's science fiction. So you time traveling in a place that you can't time travel, and you and you teleporting to a place that doesn't exist anymore, doesn't need any logic. Follow the way.
I think that was more. I don't think that was like an audience thing of being like, we don't care. I think that's more about how Loki's new kind of powers are working, right? Of him being able to kind of like travel time in a sense, where it seems like I think Loki was trying to go about it in a science fiction way, and that's not where I think his motives are lying. It's lying in his friends and in his wants and in his needs, and I think that's what he needed to focus on, is that if he wants, he can just do it. He doesn't need some science mumbo jumbo. He can, if he believes in it, if he can do that, he can travel through time
to a place that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I would assume
that's the point. That's the point, right? So yes, OB was talking to Loki, right? but he was also heavy-handedly talking to the audience because what he was saying made zero sense, right? So then they literally tried to just say, well, it's science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's like a big issue. That's like a real issue, especially because this is the show that is setting up core mechanics for the MCU.
Are they though?
They were supposed to. They did for season 1.
That's true.
Well, that's
This
all.
This is Kang's show. This is Kang's show. Do you know what I mean? As much as it is Loki's show, it is Kang's show as well.
That is true, actually.
Well, I mean that's a whole nother thing. If like, I really don't think the whole Kang stuff that came out this week, or at least she's going to get Doctor Doom. I would be shocked if that's real.
Yeah,
I would really be shocked.
That is horrendous.
Yeah, no, I think, and like the more I thought about it, I was over on Eric's channel last night, and we were really talking about like how silly some of the things that came out from those articles were, and how a lot of it just didn't make sense, and how most of it was probably phooey. Not saying it's all false, because it definitely, a lot of it could be true. I think there being problems with Blade was definitely true. There's been many rounds of writers. There's been many rounds of like directors. There was clearly a problem there, but maybe not to like the extent of like, oh, Blade was going to be like the fourth lead in a movie, like all that kind of stuff. I don't think I fully believe. And it could be a thing where Doctor Doom is coming as well. Like Doctor Doom and Secret Wars goes hand in hand. He's a big player in that. So they could just be introducing Doctor Doom along with Kang still being the main kind of threat.
Yeah.
But like that is definitely a good point. Like from what we're hearing about next week's episode, how they end the episode is kind of going to be a massive parts of the like MCU going forward, and it is just kind of like there's no going back moment for them.
It all depends on Jonathan Majors if he's guilty or not.
Yeah, just recast.
Just recast. There's no reason why you don't recast. I don't see a single reason.
Yeah, and then like especially if you use Rama Tut, like you could just like you don't have to have the exact same Rama Tut. Do you know what I mean? There could be different versions of Rama Tut as well, and then you could go for one that's like wearing a mask. You could go for one of the damn fish ones. You know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of them. Where
there was a scroll one.
Yeah, just you don't even have to explain it either. Just he looks different now. They do that all the time. Like it doesn't have to be this. Oh, his skin morphed to this new thing, and now he looks different because of, no, just he looks different now, and who cares? Just move on.
Yeah.
There's no need.
I mean, they did this with Rhodey, if you remember. From
yeah.
Iron Man to Iron Man 2.
Recastings happen all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Although I think it would be very funny if they have to like remake all of those like statues of Kang and like next time. It just looks different now. Would be
probably
really
will.
Funny. Would be really funny.
Shimmer and the multiverse, and they just change as.
I mean, they can hire me. I'll put on like 50 pounds of muscle. You know?
No. That's Taz. That's Taz.
Taz, no, man. Listen, Taz too light. Taz too light. I gotta do it.
Yeah.
Like the fact that there are timelines spaghettifying is only because there's a machine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because the multiverse existed and naturally. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't a Kang that created the machine that created the multiverse. Do you know what I mean? There is a paradox there. There is a multiverse that existed with the original Nathaniel Richards, and branches were there. They weren't sitting there spaghettifying themselves because some random machine in space gave birth to itself.
Yeah.
The whole show is logically flawed of season 2. Season 1 nailed it, right? And then I feel like it's like they switched the person in charge. The vision got lost. What they had in store got lost, got muddled up. Too many cooks in the kitchen. So they thought, how can I like, how can I fix this? How can I like get close to it? Like, because the feel of it, all of it's there, right? Because you have the same actors, the same surrounding area, like the sets and everything else, and it feels like the show because everybody's bringing the same game. Do you know what I mean? It's just what's happening behind the
Stranger.
scenes
Like Stranger
makes
said, like
no sense. None.
I mean, I like season 2 like 10 times more than the first season, personally.
I do like it. It just makes
like,
no sense.
I just think story-wise, it's a much better story.
I
Now,
do
like,
agree. I do agree, though. It doesn't make sense. I agree with that.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I think when it comes to like time travel, there's a part of my brain that kind of been like, it probably makes sense. I'm just not smart enough to get it. Like, that's just how my brain operates. Like, time travel stuff, I've never been really good at like following. So I just kind of so that is never like an issue for me personally.
Don't put yourself down. They just didn't think what they were doing. Like, don't sit there and
This
put
is
yourself.
every time travel show. Like it's such a hard. Like, I would never, if I ever made a show, I would never make a time. I would like time travel would never even be a thing because I just don't I think it's such a hard thing to write. As a writer, it's almost there's no time travel in any movie or show that doesn't at least have some plot holes.
Yeah, especially the Flash.
Oh, Flash! It's don't. I mean,
not.
The time travel is confusing on the Flash. That's one thing I will say.
Each Arrowverse show had a different time travel logic between Supergirl.
Like, for example, you know what the funny part is?
Legends.
Where is the zoom from post-crisis? Where is that zoom? I want to know where that zoom is. Like, we don't know where that zoom is. Like, I know we saw zoom in season 9, but that was the events of season 2 finale. That was the events of that. So we don't know where the post-crisis zoom is. It's funny.
We heard he's on Earth Prime. It just seems like he wasn't part of like the multiverse stuff.
I just wish he was there. Like, if they brought that zoom into the season 9 finale, it would make way more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I don't know. The whole thing
at this point, let's just leave Flash in the rearview mirror.
If depending on
honestly, I can't blame you for not liking the season 9 finale. I can't blame you. That finale was it was.
Depending on where Loki landed, Victor Timely might still be alive at the end of the season.
I would be shocked if he's not alive.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because there'd be no. I think everything we're seeing right now, everything that Loki's doing, everything all the whole group is doing, I think is Kang's full plan. He wanted what happened to Victor to happen. He wanted all these events to come unfold. And I think next episode we are going to see a moment where it's like, oh yes, it all according to my plan. And whatever that ultimate ending is for Loki, I assume it is going to like majorly set up it's gonna really set up the Avengers movies and Deadpool 3 and all those things, all that kind of stuff.
Next episode's got a lot to do, right? Because we still don't know where Renslayer is, and she's got like an army of Loki to worry about.
Yeah,
she's sent there for the most part, and Eliath. So how she's getting back without a temp pad?
Yeah.
We have one more episode left.
Yep, episode 6. I think
I wonder how they're gonna finish all this stuff in one episode.
It's gonna be like an hour-long episode.
It's like,
and I'm guessing there's gonna be a post-credit scene, right?
Most likely.
Yeah.
Do we think that a lot of people have said it's Deadpool is like a post-credit scene?
I don't think it'll be that far ahead.
If that happens, I'm losing my shit. I'm just saying.
Reaction channels will be so much fun that day if like we see a first look at Deadpool. It'd be so cool. Because I think like it seems like Deadpool 3 is almost like a sequel to Loki. Like that's almost like where the next story is going.
And Deadpool 2 was the prequel because he was messing with time at the very end.
Is it just me though? Like, is it just me, or does Deadpool 3 kind of gave me the Spider-Man No Way Home vibes a little bit? With the way they're doing the whole like thing.
There's a maybe, but like there's a theory going around at the minute that the TVA are going to be trying to get Deadpool because he's going to be messing with timelines, right?
Yeah.
The issue with that is the TVA needs a new mission, right? Because like the whole thing with General Docs and B-15 is that that's not who we are anymore. So it totally contradicts them finding a new mission.
Well,
Do you know what I mean? It just means that
Loki
it's
for
henchmen from
meddling.
before.
I say it doesn't work with Loki because he can do whatever the heck he wants to.
No, but I mean, like, but the TVA, do you know what I mean? They want to stick around, but they can't be pruning everybody, but just because they've created a new timeline, right? And they don't want to kill timelines anymore because that's billions of lives sacrificed. So what, one, could their mission be in the first place? And two, what could Deadpool do that flies in the face of it?
I
think there clearly needs to be like there's no leadership at like the TVA currently. I think like that's the issue. There's no one like there's like you said, but like different. There's too many cooks and not enough people being like, oh yeah, let's follow him. And I think that is going to lead. I think we end the season with Loki kind of being the head of the TVA, because this episode basically, in a sense, Loki almost creates the like TVA, right? Like everything we're seeing in the past is him like giving the handbook to like OB and him. Obviously, it is kind of OB creating it, but it seems like Loki is setting everything in motion. And I would not be shocked if we do end kind of the season with like Loki kind of like leading the whole thing and kind of being their new head in charge and going forward. We've heard all of the rumors of like will Loki or like the like Loki 3 is going to be about like them trying to find like the main hero in every timeline, like the main big heroes in every timeline.
I think that's what's gonna happen. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that yet. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it happens, but we don't know how we feel about it. You know.
See,
the execution for that could be terrible.
I wouldn't be too surprised if there was, instead of just one person in charge, there was like maybe B-15 and Mobius.
Mm-hmm.
And then Loki was more in like an advisory role and a freelancing thing. Because like, yes, they're his friends, but like he turned down, like, or at least wanted to discuss running the TVA. Do you know what I mean? Like he wasn't like fully against Sylvie in season 1 and he fully wasn't on her side. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, but then obviously then he does kind of get what he wanted from all of the Thor stuff, and that is to like to lead and to rule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think Sylvie still needs a lot. I think she still has to work on herself quite a bit. Because as much as I am enjoying her this season, she's definitely at a place. Like every episode, she is just kind of like doing a bit of whining, I guess, and doing kind of a bit of like, I just wanna be free. I just want to do what I want. And each episode, it's Loki being like, we can't do this. There's like a bigger threat at stake. And then her being like, fine, I'll help you. And then like the following thing, it's like, oh, I'm back to kind of like, I'm at McDonald's again and I'm doing my own thing. What were your kind of thoughts on this idea of Loki no longer being a god of mischiefs and now a god of stories, which is what it is in the comics, which I'm pretty sure it eventually changed. Like Loki became so popular that they no longer wanted him to be a villain, which is what's happened in like the live action stuff as well. I really like this idea of like the like god of stories, and maybe he's like, I kind of like the idea of like a like Legend season 2 where instead he is the like protector of like the like timelines, and he knows how sacred each timeline is, and he's trying to like protect each one no matter the cost, kind of thing.
That'd be cool. Like it becomes the MCU's Timeless Wells.
Mm-hmm. yeah, sure. Like the Spectre type character who's just kind of like, oh yes. And I feel like that would be kind of cool. Like again, like looking back at like where Loki started in phase 1 to being this like ultimate kind of like savior of the MCU could be kind of cool as well.
Fascinating thought is like there is a vast difference between power and awareness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to have this ultimate power, but still not be cosmically aware, right? To the point where he'll be able to see the Watchers.
Yeah.
You know, like that's awesome. Like there's so many layers. This is what I mean. Like if they just took 5 minutes to have a conversation like we are now, and they brought up the time loop, and there was just somebody else in the room that went, "But did you see season 1? Doesn't make any sense." Do you know what I mean? That's all it would have taken, and then they could have come up with something else. You know what I mean? Like, we could have got to the end product a different way. I like where we're going to get with Loki. That's awesome, especially because Sylvie still has Kang's thing, so he's going to like naturally get there, and then Sylvie is going to be using like tech to get there, so they can always end up in the same place. Whether or not that does come to fruition, because obviously what is happening is it could potentially be the safety protocol that kicked in, right? So say, for example, if it was a Kang that was there, and then like stuff was going wrong, he could time jump, like say, for example, if he didn't have his watch or whatever, you know what I mean? So then if the problem gets fixed, does the solution get fixed as well?
Sure. I am very curious because, like, this season feels like we should be about to jump into Secret Wars and, like, the Kang Dynasty now. Like, and like, that was kind of the thing at the end of the first season. It's like, oh, this happens now. We should be really close to getting big Kang stuff. But like the other heroes, they're just like, no, it's fine. I'm gonna, like Spider-Man's like, I gotta go to college, and Hawkeye's like, I gotta get home for Christmas. Like, there's like the other heroes are not affected by what Loki is doing whatsoever. And again, like, we have What If next month, and we have Echo, and we have all these, like, we have Captain America 4, and none of that seems affected by Kang. So I'm curious to see what the ending of the season is that does obviously set up Kang, but also doesn't affect the other shows as well.
There's a disconnect.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously the Peter Parker and Doctor Strange Easter egg in
I disagree.
across the Spider-Verse with the naming of the universes, right? So that was supposed to like connect the universes, right? So the fact that Sylvie is existing in the 1983 on the branch timeline, and you had Zaniac, and none of them are glitching, like none of them are causing incursions like they spoke about in Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a disconnect between all of the properties. There's no logical through line. This is why the show Bibles that are coming are going to be essential and lift everything to a higher plane, because everybody's going to know what everybody else is talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a disconnect yet. I think, like, how we ended season 1, that made sense to me why there wasn't. Like, they weren't directly connected yet. I am concerned about going forward, though. Like, again, like, how do we just, like, I don't know how we end it yet. Like, I don't know what the consequences with Kang are, you know?
But how do you line up Sylvie and then, like, Gwen Stacy being on Miles Morales' Earth?
I don't think they need to connect them yet.
No, yeah. But the fact that she was in there for however long and was going like, but Sylvie sat there working at McDonald's serving burgers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's, like, what's happening
well, here? I think there's a difference between tech and magic as well, right? That's been like the ongoing theory for people. It's like, well, like the reason why like Toby didn't glitch out was because they went over from magic and not like technology, like our Spider people are.
Even
but then you look at Thor 1, magic and science are the same thing.
No,
yeah.
Well, what you said was, you call it science, we call it magic.
Yeah.
Basically, if you were in the caveman era and you started a fire, they're like, "Ooh, magic!" But all you did is rub sticks together.
Yeah. So yeah, like we obviously have a lot of other shows to get through. Do we have any? I mean, this is the last episode before we kind of end the whole season. Do we have any kind of theories, kind of like speculations, final thoughts before going into next week's final episode?
Thor is going to show up.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine?
I don't know. That would be cool. I mean,
we need to talk, brother.
Loki just can't be like, he just can't be in the MCU and Thor not know of his existence.
Yeah.
Like, I think at some point they're going to bring them back together.
Yep.
I think Avengers 100% is going to be a big Thor and Loki thing.
Okay.
I think they have to build to it though, because like if he show up, like Thor gonna be all happy to see him, like, oh my god, I thought you died, and this Loki gonna be looking at him like.
I actually think it's gonna be the other way around. I think
Really?
Thor is going to be pissed. He's had enough of Loki's games. He's like, again, we can't, like, guys, we cannot trust Loki. And I think Loki's gonna be like, brother, I've missed you. It's been, I've changed. I see what you're doing now. And he's gonna be like, I can't trust you. I think that's gonna be their arc for that movie. Is going to be this opposite,
he really
dynamic.
died though. He really died in Infinity War.
And
that's why I don't think it's gonna be a joke. But that was a different timeline though, so I can't even be mad at that.
Thor doesn't know about the different timeline.
But Thor doesn't know. He's gonna be like, it was another trick, brother.
See, I think like Thor's gonna show up, but it's gonna be the Throg Thor in the jar, right? Ravonna Thrensleigh is gonna get him out of the jar, and they're gonna just zip off to the Citadel at the end of time and just get out of there.
Stranger, we're going to be having this conversation for the next several weeks, and I hate it. We have this conversation every time a show gets ended or a show gets canceled. More so when like a show just ends, right? When they announce, hey, final season, we're ending it before we can get canceled, and people just they don't understand the difference, or they do understand and they don't care because canceled gets more clicks than ended does.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Every time. It's so.
We've been dealing with that all week.
Oh, 100%. Already, let's move on to Gen V. So I don't have written notes for like Gen V. I watched it only about like an hour and a half ago. I didn't get a chance to actually write notes. Now, Taj, you've been really into Gen V this season. Let's kind of start off with you.
Yes.
How are you feeling about this episode, the end of the season, show as a whole, all that kind of fun stuff?
The finale I thought was great. Like I saw people.
Me.
Oh no!
What the hell happened?
Listen, that finale was crazy. But I saw people complaining that the episode should have been longer. I was like, nah, I felt like it was fine. I don't need 60-minute episodes from every, streaming site show. 40? It was like 39. So
really?
like, yeah, with the end credits, it was like 36 or something like that. But I thought the finale was great, but the ending with Homelander, dude, he showed up and like instantly everything just stopped. No one moved. Everybody was just sitting there like, what do we do?
God just turned up. It was awesome.
He could have killed everyone in that room. He could have just...
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I was so pissed, though, because like he asked Marie, he was like, what type of monster are you? I was like, you've killed Soups. Like, what are you... What are you... And she didn't even kill anyone. She was trying to stop everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Her finally like using the blood and like using them as like daggers. And giving that one girl a heart attack. I was like, oh my god. And then she blew off Kate's arm. I was like, I knew it.
That was insane. That
was really cool. See, I last week I kind of was upset that they aligned her powers and New Moon's powers. But the end result, I was really happy. So I withdraw my criticism. It was awesome. I'm just down for all of it. So I've got like
it's really interesting to see where they're going to go though, because like, are we going to get resolution in The Boys season 4, or do we got to wait till season 2?
I think we have
because they
said Gen V was going to be into drawing into season 4, and then season 4 is going to draw into season 2 of Gen V.
Okay. Oh, that explains why the actors that played Kate and Sam were on set for season 4.
After this one, it makes sense. Like
because I'm confused. Like, did Homelander laser everyone and put them in the room, or like because Andre passed out? Yeah. Emma was just in that room the whole time after her and Sam had that like argument or whatever, and she turned all small.
She was small,
and then
she kind of
and then Jordan was just there with Marie. So I'm like, did he like? How did they get everyone in the room? I'm kind of confused.
Yeah.
And then I saw someone say like, what if it was a dreamscape and Kate's doing it? I was like, I don't know. With that cliffhanger with Butcher showing up, I was like, no. I was like, that's not a
That's
Monsky.
real. Yeah.
Because she don't know who Butcher is. Like, I don't think she would know. And he investigating the woods. I'm like, Homelander's dying at some point. I think they're gonna. He's getting like, it's only so much he can do. It's like to the point where it gets like a little repetitive.
Yeah.
I think he will
Homelander's
get
a
taken
weird
out.
one.
Yeah.
Homelander's weird because every season I say, okay, I'm kind of getting a little done with Homelander, and then he shows up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's here! He's so...
Right.
And Anthony is so good. Like I
He
can be
is.
tired of him, and he's still like, you are such a threat. I obviously she's not going to die, but there's a second there I'm like, don't kill our girl, don't do it, don't put a hand on her. Like he's so.
I got
scary.
pissed because I
When
thought
it
the
kills
episode.
the season.
I thought the episode ended right there for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I was like, what the? And then I was like, oh, okay. It did like a news report, and I was like, whoo.
Did
I'm
anyone
nervous.
else know that he was in the season?
No,
I
was so surprised when he turned up, and I loved it.
I
knew he was
today.
gonna show up. Like I didn't know because like I heard spoilers or anything, but I was like, it's no way because he was on set. So I was like, this has to be the episode he shows
Oh,
up.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was on set.
Yeah,
I
it was
missed that.
pictures that came out last year of him like in front of the
Mhm.
statue.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I automatically knew. I was like, oh, so he gonna be in the show. I thought it was gonna be
Yeah.
earlier on. I didn't expect the finale though.
I gotta say though, the way they span it, right? Because like we're all sitting here like, oh, they're gonna have like this and this and this, and like this, like just means so much for the boys, and then they just pulled that tablecloth under the glass, and then just it's like, whoa, now what is okay, wow, fine, okay, season 4, here we go. I just did not expect any of it, and like of course I should have, because we're dealing with Vought, do you know what I mean? And like Homelander killed that guy, right, or whatever, and then they still span it to where, what a hero. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So they could literally, they had people live recording Sam and Kate doing horrible stuff, and they still span it as, these heroes, man. They took out they took out Marie and the others.
Right.
It's like, wow.
When in actuality they got took out. Like
Yeah.
Sam got took out by Andre, and that scene, the stuff with his dad, I was like, I think we talked about this. I was like, I thought it was the virus, but now it's actually like his powers messing with him. So I was like, he's going brain dead essentially. Like eventually, that's kind of what it's gonna lead to. And I was like, that's so sad. I was just like, and the fact that it might happen to Andre too, and I'm just like, that's not. This world sucks. Like I was like,
that's not the only power that causes brain problems, though, is it? I mean, look at Kate, right? Because she was having her issues before the medicine as well. Yeah. You know? So
she was about to pass out. She was going crazy.
Yeah, it gets me wondering how many other powers, whether it's like solely mental and like kinetic powers that like do it. Like, cause say for example, like A-Train, like would he still have had the heart issues down the line if he didn't abuse the drugs?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So like, is it like a case of like each type of power has a different kind of effect? Do you know what I mean? So like it's a case of you having to choose when to use it, and then humanity is doing what humanity would do, and it just keeps using it nonstop. But it's supposed to be used sparingly.
Sure.
I think A-Train's situation is a little different. I think it's because of the drugs. Like I don't think he was gonna have the heart defect if he didn't do the drugs. Mm-hmm. I know I play sports and stuff, and I know like even if you don't grow up using like steroids, let's just say you go to the pros or you know whatever, even high school, like if you've never used it and then you started using like a substance and it like enhances like your physicalness and stuff like that, you can develop like heart issues and stuff like that. And so I don't know, but I don't know. Just Kate was so savage this episode. Like she was Emma Frost in this episode. Not
Yeah.
I loved every minute of it. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not picking a side because
I
I
feel
like
Darren
both
called
sides.
Didn't you call it last week?
I've been calling it for the last couple that I think she's kind of. I mean, she is very like this, like Emma Frost, but I've also said kind of like this, like Dark Phoenix type character. Where
And I was
she's
sitting
kind
there
of part of
going,
her-
no.
No, oh yeah, she went.
She's
full...
too nice. She's too great. Like she's
Yeah.
been a victim. I'm like, no. And then Darren was there. Yep. She's going. full
I
black.
think she's kind of the. Honestly, I could see. I wonder if she could be like a boys villain at some point. Like if we do ever get rid of our like Homelander, like I think she's powerful enough. She could be that threat.
She is.
She can take down Homelander. I think if
Do you
she's
think-
smart about it. If
do
she's
you
smart
think-
about it.
Yeah, if she's smart about it, yeah.
Do you think Ashley will follow through on the promise, and that either of them will end up on the 7?
Hate on the 7 would be insane. I would actually love that.
Can you imagine like her like meeting Starlight and just being like, "You're too prissy," and just like touch her?
Yeah.
Now go jump off a building.
Honestly, she might fit in well on
She
the
would.
7. Like especially when she like gets in with the others, I think she's gonna turn. I really do think that. They would never let Sam. Sam is too much of a flight risk. Like
He's too
he's just
loose.
going to blow up a
He'll-
building on any given
He's a
moment.
loose cannon.
Yeah, 100%.
He's the Incredible Hulk.
They're
That's
all
what he is.
loose cannons.
Well,
Um,
I mean, I don't know.
Homelander
For
will
me,
kill like a bunch of people on a plane.
If there was any efficiency in what the Woods were doing, the suits that got out would be somewhat contagious. If
Well, I
they weren't
think-
just
Yeah.
working on one or two people, the fact that he was like, right, this is now effective, like, then he should have been like working like on the others. Like, obviously, I'm not saying I want Iris to work out here. I'm just saying.
Well, it wasn't airborne yet, so that's what they was working on it. So I think they just died, and
It's
I mean,
definitely going to come back, I think.
they're
there's-
clearly dead because they were just out on the
Yeah, no.
ground.
I mean the ones that got out for the fight, right?
yeah,
like-
they're mostly all
like-
dead.
Yeah, but like, they could still be like, maybe like there's a potential that they could be a little bit contagious, maybe, which could
I
spread
guess
and cause somewhat of an issue for season 4.
Butcher's going to get that goddamn virus.
So I have two things. So one, any of you hear what Kate said to the guard? Right, because I thought she said, "Eat your hands."
Yeah.
She did. She
Yeah.
told
And
him to
then-
eat his hands.
When he went back in, he had both hands and half his face was all messed up. Or that might have been a different guard.
I think that was a different guy.
Okay. Second, Shetty, right? She's been dealing with Kate for years now,
Yeah.
at least 6, right? So her like being in Vought and a part of all of everything like predates the plane crash. Do you know what I mean? So her having this maniacal criminal turn does like kind of makes sense, but doesn't because of the timeline. But I guess it kind of makes sense for her to be in that position to be able to do all of this stuff, since she's not a soup.
Well, she was doing all of this before she met Kate.
But she's supposed to only be doing this because her family died in the plane crash of season 1.
Yeah.
Right, but we don't. I mean, the timeline. Listen, I don't think we know the timeline exactly because we don't know how old. We know that Marie is 18, but the rest of them, they did the flashback when she was in the room with Luke, and it was like 3 years ago, and so like we don't know how long they've been there.
Oh my god, that's a really good point.
Because
Wow.
Sam, it seems like Sam has been in there since he was a kid. Like that's
Young.
like it's like we don't know how long they've all been there, so it's kind of like, and that's the thing. If he'd been in there since he was a kid, then obviously this all existed. I think the lab existed pre-plane crash, but once the plane crash happened, she was like, "Yep, I'm going to use this facility as a way to find out how to kill suits." And the only issue with that is like not all the soups are evil. Like,
Mm.
you're punishing these kids or trying to use these kids, and it's just like they think they just come in here to learn how to use their powers to become heroes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder what. Again, like it does seem like this is going to be a plot line for season 4, but I'm wondering what Butcher's going to do with this information. Like, it seems like he is going to be going after like the college and like the lab, possibly. So what's he going to do with this information? Like, and if he gets his hand on the virus again, like, I don't think he'd be dumb enough to put that out there, because he obviously has people he loves now that has the virus. But like,
Right.
Okay.
I also don't know. Like, Butcher's kind of a loose cannon at some points.
So this is a thing though, right? So Marie, Jordan, like, as cool and talented as they are greener than what's on the screen, right? But then you have Butcher and everybody else who are kind of like veterans just taking down soups and are enhanced at the moment.
Yeah.
So Jordan and that
I forgot all about that.
They would struggle against Kate and stuff. But I think while it's going to make an interesting episode, say, for example, if Kate gets her hands on Kamiko or something like that, then, you know, it's going to be like, or Starlight, right? But other than that, I don't think they're going to struggle too much. I think it's going to be like a villain of the week kind of thing for season 4.
I think Butcher's going to break Jordan, Marie, Emma, and Andre out of that prison place. I think that's who breaks them out.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
And like, just have them work together, and probably Starlight too. Like, cause yeah,
I really hope all these characters are just in season 4. Like, people will be mad. People will be mad because I didn't watch Gen V. I shouldn't have to watch Gen V to understand the boys. And I agree with that, but also I don't care, because I love Gen V and I love these characters and I want to see them. I don't want to have to wait till 2025 to see these characters again.
Oh God.
Bring me some reality. Come on, what's that?
It's at the latest. It's like summer 25.
I didn't want to think about it.
If not 26. Like,
no, it can't be 26.
Don't put that out there.
The writer's strike can go on for another 3 years. We don't know.
If it say like 2026, I'm a rage. I'm gonna just record me breaking
2028 just to see you rage.
Like, yo, I can't.
It does make it really interesting though, because season 2, apart from, like, it's going to be a blank canvas. They have complete free reign. Like, they've just got to escape where they are and then find out who held them captive. If Butcher can handle that in season 4, all the better, you know, because then season 2 is even more of a whitewash, where there's just anything is available to them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just a lot of theories. Just a lot of theories.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the characters. I feel like this was a very like straightforward episode. Like, there wasn't a lot of like.
How bad was it? What Sam said to Emma?
That was
that was crazy.
That scene went rough. Emma killed that scene. That actress was so good.
Lizzie.
Yeah, she was really good.
Killed that scene. It was so heartbreaking because I liked them, and I was just like,
no.
no.
Cut down like literally. What it does show though, the coaching from her mum was very detrimental to her psyche and her life, because her powers, much like Loki's this season, are done through feeling.
Right, which is great, because now she could be like the Hulk in a sense, where he's like, I'm always mad, and just can like transform. Mm-hmm. So maybe she figures out how to use her emotions to like grow small, and not grow small, but shrink small and grow.
That'd be
like
amazing.
Big.
Like, she would be very powerful. She doesn't have to do like the throwing up and the.
Now that would be an amazing documentary, right? Overcoming that. Put that on the Vought Network.
Shrinking down my problems from Vought Plus.
Nice.
Oh, Sam is so dumb. I love Sam. He's like this little puppy. He's so freaking dumb. He's like, make me not feel.
Oh,
No,
don't
that's
get
so
me
dumb.
started.
You gave her complete control over you. In that moment, she could have done anything to him. Be like,
Yeah.
you are now my slave. You have to do like whatever I want now. Like she could have said anything. Like he had so much trust in her, and I think that's what makes Sam such a good character because he does trust people so much. Like he's this
Right.
puppy dog that would just do anything in no moment that he thinks is right, right? Because he doesn't have much training. Like he doesn't know like what's right and what's wrong. Not
See,
Yeah.
not really.
like yes and no, because that conversation with Emma does show that he is like super aware. Like even if it's not true, to the point where he knows how to bite somebody. You know,
Yeah.
like he does have some level of like smartness to him. I think.
I have
Yeah.
to laugh at
What
the
did I
subtitle.
say?
No, the Darth, because he still has my subtitle
Oh,
that
okay.
I put on his on my stream when
Okay, can I just say something? Can I say something in my defense? Okay, in my defense, Three Dubs and I had an agreement where we're going to watch something of each other's, right? And he prefaced me watching The Martian by saying that the logic of this movie is phenomenal and they get the science super down, right? So then I pointed out that there was
a
a
logic
plot.
of a plot point that doesn't require science.
So I pointed out a plot hole, and then we ended up in like a whole like hour-long discussion.
And then I posted that logic nitpicker and hater of all things sci-fi. And he still kept it.
I stand by it. I wear it as a badge of honor.
I'm like I don't like think of logic points when I watch a show. I'm like I watch it because I love it. I don't like look for those things.
I do kind of want to talk about the like Ashley stuff a little because I thought Ashley was a lot of fun this episode. I like that she's like literally anyone that can take care of this is part of the seven. It's yours.
Yeah.
And the instant I kind of wanted to see a little bit more of that because I feel like that could have been like a fun like Fortnite type like thing where it's like who like last person standing gets to be part of the seven. I thought was kind of fun.
Yeah. Is his name PJ Byrne, the director for all of the seven movies? Him as well.
Yeah,
always a win. He's always so funny.
He's so funny.
His scene with Jordan outside was hilarious. I was dying.
And it seems like he and Ashley were a thing. Seems like, right?
Yeah, yes. They banged in the bathroom. And...
Oh yeah, no. So this is what I thought as well. So they're a thing more than once is the thing, and they got up to some nasty apparently.
I also like the scene where he's like directing these students and he's like, that is how you impress a director. That's how you do it. I thought that scene was a lot of fun as well.
No, I thought Sam was about to take his head off. Like he started talking and stuff to Sam. I was like, he's about to take him out.
I would not have been mad. I don't have enough of a connection to him to care.
I would have been a little bit upset. I can't lie. I love that guy just popping up every now and then.
No, he's hilarious, but like killing him off, I would have been like, it would have been a funny death.
Yeah,
like because his buddy, his buddy as well that got his junk frozen off, right? Like he hasn't been around for a minute either. That was
he was in an episode trying to make a TikTok or something.
That was really funny. He's like, I have to react to it all over again.
I mean, Desperado is a good song, Rihanna. That's a good song.
Oh no, not even him. I mean, PJ Burns' buddy from The Boys. He got his stuff frozen off.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's been a while since he's been on screen. I'd love to see him back again.
So did they not get any more guards for the woods? Because it seemed like it was just those two people that was left after Sam wrecked everyone. Like 5 episodes ago. Like, what is going on?
You got to think, Sam's been in there a while. So, like, rumors got to get about. They got to have, like, a lot of turnover. So, there's got to be guards sitting there at a bar, like, my guy signed up and I haven't seen him again. Like, do not take this job. Like, there's got to be a hard job to sign up for.
He's a hero of the school now, so
Yeah.
I guess we'll see what happens next because it's gonna be interesting. Like him and Kate's like duo, like it's gonna be really interesting. Because I think he said what he said to Emma on purpose. I could be wrong, but it seemed like he did it intentionally to like not have her in the fight because he knew what he might be doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was very strategic why she like wasn't in the field at all. Like out of all of them, she was not in the field.
She could.
I
did too.
Like,
I did too.
Yeah.
She could have solved a lot of problems. Like she could have caught the helicopter. She could have, right.
That's such a good idea because Kate would have only had to touch him for a second to get her out of the way and to get him hurting her. Yeah. So that is such a good idea. I love that. I really hope that's the case. Yeah, because they did seem really nice together. Right.
And they had that whole thing, what, like 2 episodes ago, where it's like, I'm messed up, like you're good. I think you should have someone that's not as messed up as me. And maybe that's like an extension of that idea of like, I'm about to do something that maybe you're not gonna like, so you should get away from me, stop trying to save me, I gotta do this. And it's very clear that's what he didn't want feelings, and he wanted to just be able to do what needed to be done. And if she was there, he would not have been able to do
fascinating thought, right? Is that to get to where her full potential, she's going to have to go full Wally West, right? She's going to have to go off to and just study how to just control her emotions. But then the conflict is she wants to be with somebody who has no control over his emotions, sees puppets, and punches his fist through people's mouths, So, like, that'd be a very interesting pair. Like, one person is completely in control and the other person is fighting for control.
Sure.
Did everyone watch Invincible? Or?
Yes. We will be talking about that in a second. Oh, actually, 3Dubs does not. He hasn't seen any of these shows that we're talking about today.
God damn it, 3Dubs!
I told him, listen, I told him to leave. I told you, hey man, you don't have to stick around. And he's like,
I don't care.
Fine.
You know he don't care.
Okay, so let me read my buddy Noah's comments here. And
but
then
you know Invincible is getting a 3rd season, so like I know you wait to see like if it's gonna like it's like come on, you gotta watch.
No, I know that. I didn't know it came out today.
It came out yesterday.
Yeah, it came out last night.
All right, Noah has a couple comments here. He said, correct me if I'm wrong, though, because I haven't watched Gen V. However, isn't Compound V not just a powder for people and the boys? I see. Like we found out last season, in season 2, that it isn't this like gift from God. It's this
injected as like babies, so like they're already born. Except for Homelander, he was like literally a test tube baby.
But... Oh! Thank you for reminding me. Right? Okay, so how? Like obviously, like it was revealed that the woods and the school itself is a way to not just monetize the children, but to keep an eye on them. How micromanaging is it, right? Because Homelander rocked up knowing exactly what Vought and he wanted to do. There was no daylight between him like finding out what happened or needing to find out what happened. He just zapped Marie. And that was it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was no communication between him and Ashley. There was nothing. It was, I'm here. This is what's happened. Boom. So how aware is the tower of what's happening at the school?
Well, I would assume they're very aware now, right?
Yeah. But like, there had to been like a constant monitoring, right? Otherwise, he would have had no context of what he was doing. There's no way that was done on a whim.
You're talking about like him being clueless about the virus, or just like the woods in general? I think they knew about the woods in general
at the school at the time, right? Because he picked a side before he landed. Is my point. How did he know to do that?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. They probably told him.
But this is my point. Like, how did they know that? Do you know what I mean? Like, because like Kate sat there like trying to kill the people, and then they went, no, get Marie, we'll spin this. Do you know what I mean? Like, how is that all decided in the 30 seconds of him flying over?
Well, all he saw, he came in right after Marie blew her arm off. And so like she was on the ground. So I'm guessing he just assumed like, okay, they're all bodied. These two were just standing here.
Yeah. She's the enemy. Yeah.
But then, okay, you actually bring up a good point because Emma and Andre were not even in the situation. Andre was passed out and Emma was still in the school. So I'm kind of confused a little bit too.
I think
it's a nitpick, but I'm gonna leave it be.
I think he did whatever the heck he wanted in that moment, and then Vought was like, "We need to spin this story around to fit like this narrative." So they're like, "These guys are the villains. Throw them in there. Have Sam and Kate be the heroes." Whatever.
I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, right?
Yeah.
But if that's true, he flew down, landed, saw Kate looking just all sorts of evil, right? And like in the middle of like, oh, I've just been stopped. And then you got Marie just looking there innocent as hell. Hi, sir. I got a field report for you. Do you know what I mean? Get back. You know, like, how do you weigh up those options that she's the one that needs telling off? That's crazy.
I don't want to pull this card, but we have seen that Homelander's like mildly racist, right? Like that's been a thing before. So like,
okay, I'll let go.
And all the people that were in the room, I was about to say all the people that were in the room
even
are either
Jordan's
people of
like,
color or.
I don't want to pull that card.
That is a depressing. God damn.
Okay, when it comes to this show,
and Sam are white. Like straight.
But then how do you explain Emma though? Like, oh, you're just weird. So I bet
they just threw her in with, I guess. They're too.
Was she small when they captured her?
Right?
He just kicked her.
Like, he just like picked her up by her t-shirt, just like come
mildly.
On,
I was trying to be nice. He's racist. He's an issue.
Racist. Yeah, he's oh god.
Yeah.
Okay, I do think we are going to move on over to Invincible. Do we have any final thoughts on Gen V? Last time we're going to be talking about the boys' universe for a while, unfortunately. Kind of any final things?
I'm just the fact that the boys' universe pulled an X-Men before the MCU. I'm just like, I'm happy, but I'm also kind of like, damn, MCU. Like, and I get it's not their fault. The whole contract situation, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this show is just so good.
But to Lance's point, like, does that give Taj's point, does that give like a roundabout of like a point to DC over Marvel because the boys came from DC? So did X-Men better before Marvel?
Listen, the higher ups at DC has no control over this. I'm not giving them points for anything.
I think. Listen, X-Men are coming. I'm happy with that at least. I think everyone is kind of starting to put out good content soon. Like MCU feels like it's slowly kind of coming back and doing some cool stuff.
Star Wars is
like it's going anywhere.
Star Wars is doing some cool stuff. DC's rebranding. Noah, if you want, I can send you a link if you want to talk about Invincible. If not, no biggie. Let's just kind of jump in. Invincible, it's back. It's been 500 years.
Finally.
So happy. I'm so excited. So let's start with Garth. Let's start with you this time around. Season 2, episode 1. How are you kind of feeling?
I was beyond excited. I'm not gonna lie. I'm one of those people that was late to the game, so I'm not gonna sit there and pretend I was here from day one. So those 500 days make it like 150 for me. So yay. I'm so interested, right? Because has anybody here like read source material?
Mm-mm.
Because I haven't, right?
I have.
Is this it? Okay, awesome. Because for a start, right, when this episode came on, I was like, is this a dream sequence? And then the longer it got on, I was just like, there's no way this is a dream that's lasted this long, you know? So like, is the multiverse thing a part of the original like lore and content, or is this like a new spin for the show?
No, it's in the comics. Like if they do it this season, the rest of this show is about to. Well, I know they're gonna do it, but like it's about to get off the wall with like the time travel stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the time travel stuff it's a lot. It's a lot of it.
Okay.
It's not like them like jumping to like different like. It depends on how they want to do it. It's mostly from Mark's point of view though, so like.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they stick to that. But a lot of other stuff happens with the other characters. While I'm not going to say anymore because it would spoil it, so I'm not going to. But it's a lot that the time travel stuff has to do with Mark.
Okay.
Everyone else is separate from that, but we get to see what happens, and it's a lot.
I'm not gonna lie. I was sat there in the episode, and I felt like 3 dubs because I was screaming for title cards of where we were. I wanted something telling me like who we're looking at. Right?
Now you know what I feel like.
Because like I'm sitting there through the episode, and then because of like some things that are happening, it feels like yes, this is the universe that we left, but like there's also things that are telling me that it isn't. Do you know what I mean? So like obviously I feel like they're not gonna start the season completely without our Mark, right? But how the hell is Donald back? Is it Donald? Donald's the guy that died, right? In the explosion with Omni-Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, the fact that they brought him back is really confusing me, if I'm honest.
And not explaining it, apparently.
In any way.
They will. That's all I'm going to say. They will.
Okay.
They will.
Okay,
so
this
we're not
is our
supposed
universe,
to know yet.
and Donald gets explained, right?
They have to, or a lot of people are going to be confused. They have to explain it, so they will. They have to. It's in the books. Like it'll. Yeah. I'm hyped though.
I loved how they opened this episode. Like there's such. I mean, like obviously there's like the other like there's the multiverse stuff that we got to see, but like I loved just getting to see Mark be a hero. Like that was such a fun way to like, introduce it in like into the season. Him saving people, him being sad and mopey, and of course he's gonna be sad. His dad's a serial killer now and killed billions of lives, and there's such a strong like PTSD almost story with Mark where he has to save literally everyone. With this first season, that's him literally being like he gets beat up every episode of the first season. He got beat up this episode, and this kind of idea of like he keeps getting beat down, but hopefully he can rise back up. I don't know.
He's not invincible like he says he is.
Well, he is, but they can't.
He keeps getting up.
They can't technically
it's funny you say that,
die, but they can.
It gets pulled up, doesn't it? Like there's like, I'm gonna prove like you're not invincible, you know, and stuff like that.
No, he just keeps getting his ass whooped.
Yeah, no, I meant like, was it the Morgs, the blue dudes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They reference it as well, and also the Invincible joke from season 1 with the title cards. I love how that's now reversed.
I love that. Like, I love that they know that we want it that badly. The whole episode is just no. You're supposed to do the thing. I swear, if they do that all season, I'm gonna be so mad.
I don't think so. I don't think they'll do it all season. I think they just did it in the first episode to just fuck with everybody. We know y'all been asking for this. Okay, we gonna mess with y'all.
They know their audience so well. Like they know that's a thing that we adore.
How old is the Viltrum Empire? Do you know, Taj?
I can look it up.
I don't think you might have to look it up because I'm not that far into. Like, I didn't read everything.
Okay,
I know everything. I know everything that they're pretty much basing the first couple seasons off of. So,
is this so say for example the multiverse that's happening now, is that like all of the universe's first foray into the multiverse? Like, so is there a Viltrumite empire that has been multiverse hopping as before now, or is this their first time?
I think it's the first. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's really cool.
3,000 years apparently.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're old.
I
But
also had
the stuff with Omni-Man though,
Yeah.
I can't wait till they get to that because
See, this is
because
why.
if you don't know the source material, like when you see what happens, you're like, what? Okay.
That
See, this
fight
is
with the
why
Immortal got me hyped for Mortal Kombat when he just stopped in the air. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be doing stuff like that in 3 days.
See, this is why I don't want to read the comics because I want everything to be so fresh to me while I'm watching the show. I might
didn't finish them, but
I brushed up on
I-
the boys, so I knew exactly what's going to happen.
yeah, I do think like your reading experience could be different from like watching something on screen.
Sure. I think you have to watch it like later, like once you've seen what happens, and then you can read and be like, oh, there's all this other context that they just couldn't fit inside the show. I think that's kind of what you have to do.
That's how it was for me when I like after season 1 because I watched it when it first came out. And so I was like, oh, this is really good. So after that, I like started like getting into the books and stuff. And it's a lot that they didn't put in the first season. They kind of like condensed it, which is fine because they got all the major plot points. So it wasn't like, but
I'm excited to see Mark's stepbrother or stepfamily because that's where Omni-Man is, isn't it? He's off procreating, creating a new avenue for the Viltrum Empire.
No, I'm not saying anything.
But I have a question. Okay. Do you think, with how powerful Atom Eve is, she could change the biology of Omni-Man and make him human and therefore vulnerable?
I don't think so.
Good question.
She might be.
She can create like deserts, rainforests, and deserts. She can create and change atoms. So, like, I feel like there's a chance of it, no?
I feel like she would also have to have a chance. Like, I don't think he's going to let her get that far.
All I'm going to say is she's OP.
Just from the last special we saw, she's, like, so overpowered.
Way more stronger than that. She's way more stronger
than
that.
I mean, I assume.
Based on reading the books, like, this storyline with, like, the time travel stuff, I was like, okay.
Wow. Oh, wait. So is she in control of like tachyons as well as other like everything else? So is that like how time travel is facilitated?
No, she don't have anything to do with the time travel stuff. I'm just saying in general, like during this whole plot.
Okay. I read into like she's so OP and then like
oh no, she is OP, but they don't have nothing to do with the time travel stuff.
Okay.
How's it going, gentlemen?
How's it going?
My food just got here, so let me run and get that real quick. I'll be right back. I gotta eat. It's getting late.
Salmon and salad, right?
No, I have some steak and
Lance isn't here.
What? I have in the chat lurking somewhere.
I was like screaming at my phone because I was trying to set this up, and I'm like really, really incompetent when it comes to like being tech savvy. Yeah. And I'm like, the Viltrumite Empire is like 4,000 years old. etc. I'm like answering all your questions. Like I'm like the kind of guy I watch TV shows and I'm like, why are you being so dumb right now? why just like what I mean? I'm the guy that talks to the TV. I'm that weirdo. Yeah, I'm very excited for the content we're gonna be going into in Invincible going forward. I'm very excited to say the least. There's a lot of I know Taj is very familiar with the source material, and I'm just very excited and intrigued about how they're gonna adapt that into the TV show going forward. Truly, it's gonna be something special.
I can feel that like someone again who hasn't read the comics, you feel the hype from fans who have after every episode airs, you always hear, man, people aren't ready for what's coming. Y'all are not ready for what's coming. And I think in coming seasons we are in for a treat. And this season it seems like we're doing a lot of fun things. So have you seen the first episode of the season, Noah?
I've like had to run all day, and then I saw your stream, so I just didn't watch it. But I'm gonna the second I get off of here, I'm gonna go watch it. I'm probably gonna like blow up your phone. I'm like, no way. Kind of like how I did when you recommended Stargirl, and I finally watched it. But no, it is
so good.
It's definitely. I was annoyed because I pulled it up, and literally the same second I pulled it up, I was like, why is there only one episode? And then I googled like a brief. I did a quick Google search, like the episode like 2 that isn't the Adam Eve thing.
Yeah,
is gonna come out in like on the 17th, and then like the other ones don't have like for certain like nail down release dates, and I was like, this is kind of annoying, but it is what it is.
Well, yeah. Well, the next one comes out next week. So what I think they're doing something kind of weird this season, where they're splitting the season up into 2 parts, where the first 4 episodes are airing throughout this month, and then they're taking the like next month off, and it comes back next year for the final 4 episodes.
That makes sense. That's probably for the best, depending on how they adapt it. Because, like I said, there are a lot of exciting things that they can explore. And there's like, as far as the comics goes, it's not that like the original run was not that long as far as like all the things they explored. But it's very exciting. Like I don't know who it was that mentioned the Mark stepbrother. Like that's something that's very exciting. And that's that's something that like he brought up the dilemma of like the arrogance of like superheroes and doing what's right.
Yeah.
Like the like why doesn't Batman kill the Joker? Because it's not right to kill someone when they can change. And it's like, well, he slaughtered hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. It's arrogant for you to think that he would change. Like it really, in the original run, they made him like really think about that, you know?
Sure.
And then
how did you all feel? How did you all feel about Mark? Like them saying that, like, say they didn't really give percentage, but my assumption is like over 70% of the time, if not 80, he's choosing the Viltrum Empire.
That
I get that it makes our Mark a bit more special, but I do feel like the character that he's shown throughout Invincible, that is kind of like who he would have been throughout the others. So, like, him being swayed, I was like, that many times? Like, come on, guy. You know?
Do you really blame him? Like, statistically, you know, men who have both parents in their household growing up, they tend to want to impress their fathers. It doesn't really matter if your father is, like, Space Hitler. You know what I mean? But like do you really blame him? He's an impressionable young man who's figuring out who he wants to be in life. So in the grander aspect of there being a multiverse, of course there's a higher statistical percentage that he's probably gonna choose to side with his father, especially if like in season 1 alone, you know, like there are a lot of scenes that he had with Mark that if Mark didn't have such an emphasis and such a grip on his humanity, he definitely could have been swayed to like the Viltrum side. You know what I mean? He's had certain interactions with his father.
That's actually a really good point that I didn't even think of. Like look at like kids that get raised by like a racist family or something. There's a good chance they're going to also become racist, or they're going to become like sexist, or like any of those kind of things that kids grow up in. They grow up in a toxic home. They probably grow up to become a toxic person. So no, you are 100% right with that. That's something I didn't even think about.
In those multitudes, there are going to be times where Omni-Man would have been more like overtly Viltrum and a lot less. You know what I mean? So like it does balance itself out to where Mark's character should have shone through a lot more.
It's beautiful that you even bring that up, that they're in this infinite multiverse, that there are like versions of Omni-Man that are more humane than others, because there's in the comics, when we go into like the multiverse versions, the evil versions of Mark, that we get like one version of Mark killed Omni-Man because he viewed him as weak and inferior. So he just killed his dad and replaced him as like the head conqueror of the Viltrum Empire. So like I'm very excited to see how they they explore that going into this new season of the show as well. Like there's a lot of very, very juicy, as Taj, is that how you say your name, friend?
It's Taj. My bad. I'm over here eating.
My bad. You said earlier, you're like, I gotta get my food, gang, and I understand, bro. Seriously, but like you seem to be very familiar with the source material, and like there's a lot of juicy things to come that I'm very excited for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
See, this is the thing. I like not knowing about the source material. I was very excited to be exploring like the Viltrum Empire and the generals and the big battles. And I know there's like a battle between like that lion bounty hunter guy that was looking for a fight in season 1 and like some head honcho and Viltrum, right? And I was excited to explore all that. And then so I got a bit nervous because I know there's such a limited run of this season that they even decided to start exploring the multiverse, because I was like, you have so much here that you set up, like ready to go, and then you're just like looking in a whole other universe. Like I felt like they could have just stuck with where they were for just like a little bit longer.
So correct me if I'm wrong. You feel like there's so much potential in like the current things they've set up from the previous season that they don't need to. There's no rush to go ahead and explore these other storylines. There's genuinely no rush. So your concern is we might not get to explore Team some more. We might not get to explore these other characters that might just fall to the wayside or the background if we pursue this storyline from the comics. Is that your concern?
Yes.
Yeah, I could definitely see the validity in that for sure. But and just because there's like there have been slight alterations from the show. Like Robert Kirkman is known to do that, right? From his like whenever there's been an adaptation of his works into like a live adaptation or other form of media, he's made anywhere from minor to drastically ranging alterations from his original works of art.
Sure.
We see that in Amber, you know what I mean? Like Amber was she was horrible, you know, and like there's just a lot of things that they altered that was just like, all right, I get it, you know what I mean? So we'll see. Maybe we don't jump into it as soon as you know, maybe we do explore these other characters a little more, you know.
Sure.
Regardless, I'm very excited as all of you appear to be as well. So
that was something that I was a little scared about kind of going into the season, because again, there are a lot of multiverse storylines. DC's doing a lot with it, you know, Flash this season. Marvel has a whole saga doing it. A lot of these shows and movies are currently doing it, and there's a part of me that is getting a little tired of them. But from what I hear from, again, people who have read the comics, there are people being like, y'all have no idea what's coming with this arc. Just wait and see what's coming. And I'm very willing to just do that, because again, this is a world that I got introduced to when the show came out. I didn't even know the comics were a thing. And like, I don't know about you guys, that first episode when Omni just absolutely annihilates them, that sold me. Honestly, I think this show might have one of the greatest pilots I've ever seen, because I don't know if there's ever been a greater pitch of like, you should keep watching, because this was insane. Like, you should definitely stick around.
It set a very strong tone from the get-go. You're right. It was awesome. And I am, you're right. Like I am a bit nervous, but I'm here for whatever they've got, because they haven't disappointed so far.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm
getting
into more about Atom Eve as well. Sorry, I was hoping that was going to be a series, and I'm so bummed that it was just one special.
I would definitely watch an Eve special. But maybe it could be like this backdoor pilot type of thing, where it's like, okay, people really enjoyed that special, maybe we can give them more. And they've also talked about doing more of these like one-off specials as well, which I am 100% down for. I think, honestly, I feel like a lot of the characters in the show could just do that. They could just get kind of these one-off specials to further explore them.
What was the name of the character in season 1? He was like the guy. What was his name? Cecil hired. Yeah, the guy Cecil hired to like figure out who really killed. What was his name?
Darkblood.
Dark Blood, yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. Like, I would love to see a whole like prequel spin-off kind of deal with him.
Yeah.
There were a lot of like, because like Invincible, like it very much is like a parody, right? But like, there's a lot of potential to like explore these characters. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm here for that. You know what I mean? Like, we're already seeing that with the Boys universe, you know, and I'm very much here for the spin-offs, you know, and I'm like that would be it would be so good to see like something with the Batman character that like that'd be interesting.
Darkwing,
like Darkwing, like that would be sorry, I'm like I definitely am gonna like rewatch the show. It's been like I was like a day one. I was like,
it's been such a long journey,
right?
Like it's taken so long. Going into like the Adam and Eve special, I had to like rewatch it then because I did not. As much as I loved the first season, I forgot how much I liked the show. Like I had no real memory about what actually happened. Like obviously the big stuff, like the big moments were in my head for sure, but like a lot of the like in between stuff was just gone. So I definitely had to rewatch the show. So going into the episode itself, Noah, and if you want to leave because you haven't seen it, but that's
gonna dip off my friends and go watch it. But thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure. It's great to meet you all. You enjoy your night. Bye-bye.
Absolutely, buddy. See ya. Okay, so let's kind of like get into the episode. And I know we've been going for a while, so we'll kind of like speed run this a little bit. So we open the episode with us on that kind of other world. What was your guys' kind of opinion on this version of Mark and Adam Eve and all this kind of fun stuff? Because I do think we're doing some big stuff with those versions of these characters.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I know some of the things that's getting ready to happen in the season, so like
I can't say
too much. I can't say too much, but just know, like, it's really interesting. Like, it definitely shows how strong Mark can be. Sure. I will say that. Like, this arc definitely like proves how strong. Yeah.
So, Darren, you think they're going back to the Atom Eve that they crippled? That wasn't just a device to set up the multiverse traveler.
Yeah, I feel like we have to at least some point, at least in, you know, like even if it is just to like motivate Mark to beat these other versions of himself, right? Like he gets to see what he did to someone so close to him that I think that's going to really enrage him and really empower him to beat these forces, right?
Well,
which was a very dark scene. I was kind of shocked when he just like, I was like, oh my gosh, like so getting crippled is even worse than death, I think.
If she's as powerful as Ty says she is, then she could heal herself theoretically.
Maybe. Oh gosh, that smile. We need to turn off your camera. Every time you smile, I was like, what does that mean? What does this smile mean?
No,
I got
it's a good smile. So
okay.
You know. I love the like everybody says like like everybody's toxic, like the whole community's toxic and blah blah blah. But like I feel like it says something, one, to the quality of the shows and the universes built around them, but like also the psychology of the fact that there's two parody universes and franchises that are doing just as well as all of the others. They are right up there, and there's no burning pitchforks. Do you know what I mean? There's not like, we're being mocked or this and that and the other. It's just these are great. We're enjoying them. Yeah. We're here for all of it. You know?
I was thinking about this the other day, about which one I like more. And I do think it is Invincible. I do think I slightly, because like while I'm watching Invincible, I don't think that it's a parody. Like I'm not thinking about how it's a parody of like Superman and Batman. I'm just so immersed in that story. The Boys, while I'm watching, it's very clearly like, okay, that's a reference to Superman, and oh, that's supposed to be Wonder Woman. Invincible, I'm just in. Like at times I even like forget these characters are kind of like parodying a Superman or a Batman or a Flash. Like I'm just so into it. I think
the pilot did that for you. Do you know what I mean? Like here's your Justice League, and they're dead.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was that made me get into the books. Like that first
Yeah.
that first episode, I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
After the season ended, I immediately was like, nope, I gotta do research.
I get that, man. Like, I wish I wasn't spoiled. I wish I didn't see it from Twitter. Like, that's the reason I started the show. Like, it wasn't even on my radar, and then everyone on my Twitter is like posting scenes like, what the heck? This show is insane. And it's like, I have to watch it now after seeing this. I talked about it a bit before, but like Mark is having this like PTSD based on what happened last season and feeling guilty. I think there's a really people hate Amber. I'll be honest, I don't hate Amber. I think she's way too overhated. I don't love Amber. Yeah, she's not as bad. I think there's a really good scene with them where Mark is like, he's blaming himself, being like, their deaths is on me. Like, what happened is my fault because he may have killed them, but I didn't save them. And I think him and Amber have a really good scene there where she's like, it's clearly, it wasn't your fault. Don't stop being dumb. You're a hero.
I didn't know everybody had a problem with her. Honestly, I've loved her the whole time. She's been nothing but a real person.
A lot of people were definitely mad at her character, and there was a lot of racist. There were a lot of racist things that were being said at the time as well, because they race her color. She's white in the books, and so they made her black in the show, and people just it happens.
Like, honestly, Amber's great, right? She all she wanted was him to be a boyfriend. He had his head up his ass about being a superhero, so she called him on his bullshit. That's it. She's a real person. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be swooning because he's a hero. Get out of here.
I definitely get why people don't like that scene and why people were angered by the scene with this idea of like, oh yeah, she did know he was a superhero and she still acted like this. But again, like I would argue it is a very real scene. Like she is at the end of it, she's a teenager. She is a teenage girl who has a thing for a boy, and she's allowed to feel those certain ways. She's allowed to be mad that her boyfriend isn't paying attention to her as much as she wants to. And I think that's totally okay. She's allowed to be mad that her boyfriend lied to her for months. That's allowed. I'd probably be. I don't know if I'd be as angry as she was, but I feel like if my other person, if I found out that they were a superhero and lying to me for months, I'd be angry too. I'd be pretty upset too. Like that's a big thing. So I'm excited for Amber this season. It seems like she's going to have a much bigger role this time around. That face does not give me a good feeling. We also didn't see William this season or this episode, which I was kind of shocked by. I thought he would have been in here, but
I say like not that he's much of a role model, but like, and I know that it's a little bit different because like Nolan met the mother, I forget the mother's name, as a hero, right? But he proved you can have a healthy functional relationship and be a hero because they were in love, they were active, shall we say? They had a healthy relationship apart from the big crippling lie where he was going to take over the planet. If you take that out of the equation, they had a phenomenal
scene of her just like crying and stuff. I was just
that was really good. Debbie was really good this episode.
Debbie, thank you.
Was. Yeah. I was like, God, I felt that. I was like, oh,
yeah, it's so real. Yeah. This like big side plot was about Angstrom Levy, I think, which is this guy who can like travel the multiverse. He can kind of go different places, and he has this plan to like get all the like doppelgangers of himself, and put all their brains in his brain, for he can do world-saving things. And it seems like he's going to be a big kind of figure going forward. What was our kind of thoughts on him this episode?
Dumbest smart guy ever.
That's pretty much the good, accurate description of him in the comics as well. Like, that's all.
He's like, I want to get a snapshot of everybody's brain so I can put a large picture together, but the machine can't be touched. Let's do it in the one of the universes full of heroes and an agency where they're on top of everything. You know what I mean? Let's not just pick somewhere completely random. I've got control of all of it. None of that, where this could actually work. Let's do it right where we're going to get into trouble.
felt like he could have got more like security as well. Like bring all the people, like bring all those guys out first. And maybe it's because he is like so anti-violence, like he wasn't expecting like to have to hurt people, and he didn't want to hurt people. Like that was the last thing he possibly wanted. To the point that it ruined his entire plan. Like he took off the helmet, and that final shot of him with like the giant brain was very like weird looking.
Like Cobra-esque, wasn't it? Like the way it went back around. It was awesome. And now he's fully, I want to hurt people. So his plan has completely changed who he was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I almost don't want to say anything because I don't want Taj to give me that like look, but feels like he might be a villain. Might be a villain. I don't know if you can say that.
I'm excited for just
one. He's definitely a villain. That's not spoiling anything. Like he's definitely a villain, but it's more to it. That's why I was staying quiet because like it's more to it, and I don't want to like accidentally say anything. So I'm kind of like refraining myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if anything, like if he's gonna be like the cause of any one Viltrumite finding out about a multiverse existing in the first place. And that being said, it's their nature to conquer. Do you know what I mean? So therein you're going to get the a multiversal Viltrumite empire, which would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be shocked if it doesn't lead to that in some way. Like their whole, I mean, like they run out of Earths to take over, so they're like, all right.
I know there's like the story setting up for Mark to meet evil versions of himself, but I wonder if a good version of himself comes out of nowhere.
Could be.
That'd be really cool.
Thoughts on the like conversations about Spider-Man that's been going around lately? I'm gonna say this now. It'd be very cool if it happens, and I would be very happy if it happens. But y'all don't expect it to happen, because I'm like, if it doesn't happen, I already know people are gonna be mad. Like it was right there. We you got him from the show, and you could have brought him. Like people are gonna be so mad if it doesn't happen. Don't do that, y'all. Don't be shitting on the show because they didn't introduce Spider-Man of all characters. That would be like, I could see it happening. Like I really could. But
what am I missed?
I don't know.
What's the conversation?
About if you bring in Spider-Man for the comic crossover. Because in the comics, they cross over with each other. This is the season about the multiverse, and the actor who plays, what's his name?
Tom
who
Holland?
Plays in, Spectacular Spider-Man is in this season.
Yeah.
So that's been a big convo for people. Like, oh, are they going to adapt the crossover in the comics? So, I don't know. Like, again, it'd be really, really cool, but I just don't want people to get their hopes up. You know what I mean?
And they've shown they don't do one-for-one adaptations, so everybody expects
it's not a part of the main story. So if they do it, it'll be like a special, like the Adam Eve thing.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the main thing I didn't cover yet was like our team, right? I forget the like name of the team, but like our main team.
I forget all the time. I'm not even gonna lie.
Guardians of the Globe.
Is that it? No, is it?
That's the Justice League-esque.
Yeah, it's like a new
but that's
team,
who
right?
they've taken over, though, right? That's who they are now.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
They all taking over.
Okay. Yeah, like their group, they have brought in Immortal this season to be like their new team leader, which makes sense. Like he was a part of the team. He was a part of that first team. It only makes sense that he would lead this new team. And we also have Bulletproof, which I think it's going to be a back and forth between Rex and Bulletproof this season. It gives me the same vibe as like Peacemaker and Bloodshot from like the Suicide Squad movie, where it's like, I do exactly what he does but better, right? Like that's the vibe I get from those two.
Right.
So we'll have to see where that goes. But do we have any final thoughts on this episode? Obviously a lot of things happened, but we're heading towards that 2-hour mark, so we should probably start to wrap things up.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. Great start to the season. I'm just mad they're going to do that split at the halfway point. Like depending on how long it is. If it's like a month, I'll be like,
I think it's a
okay,
month.
that's
It comes
fine.
back in January, I think. So
Okay, yeah, that's fine then. Well, yeah, I don't have any complaints then. That's just
yeah.
Okay.
I'm totally
just
fine.
like-
And again, like these episodes are long too. Like they're usually about like the 50-minute mark. So that's like
yeah, like
it's
49.
it's
something
8
like
hours of TV. So
that. Right.
I'm totally okay with them splitting it up, having that like Christmas break and then coming back into the new year.
Oh, that's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited. I think these next only 3 episodes left. That actually kind of hurts. We like just got
I
it
know
back.
we just got it.
I know. We just got it back. Yeah, but yeah, you guys, thank you so much. This was definitely a larger episode than we normally.
Did y'all talk
do.
about the Echo trailer?
We
Did I
did
miss
not,
that,
but I'm
or-
probably doing that over on the pipeline this week. But
okay.
you know, if you guys want to say something, we can totally talk about it.
What are y'all thoughts on it? Because before I had no interest. After seeing that trailer, I have complete interest in that show. I'm kind of hyped now.
I was excited, just because I feel like the actress that played Echo did such a good job in Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So I to see her and Vincent D'Onofrio have an extended time together, I was excited to see. And then the trailer come out, and I was just like, "Oh, that's just awesome! That's just so much better." That's
Rated
great.
mature. About time, Marvel. About time.
This is like a giant like I told you so moment, because I've been very curious about the show for a while, because like I haven't had a large interest in it, but I was like, the whole internet was like, we don't need this. This show's gonna suck. This is gonna be so mid. Why do we have an Echo show? And I'm just like, you know nothing about Echo. This is a character. I guarantee you, the people that were mad about the show happening were people who had never heard of the character. They didn't really care. And I've been saying for months, guys, give it a chance. Just wait till the trailer comes out. Wait for the first episode to come out. Wait. Give a fair running chance before just hating on just a character because you don't know what it is. And all day has been people being like, wait, hold on a minute. This actually kind of this goes hard. This actually kind of looks really, really cool. It definitely gives.
What are your odds of the Rose turning up?
Who?
Kingpin's son. Another. He's like a smaller crime boss who falls out with the Kingpin.
I don't know. I don't want to. I'm not going to speculate, because if it doesn't happen,
I just hope it does, because like it broadens Spider-Man's gallery.
Well, that's if Sony let them use it. So
yeah, good point.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm still not sure how I feel about them dropping it like all at once.
I hate that. It's like you have nothing next year, really. Well, no, I get why. Hold on, never mind. Percy Jackson will go into January. So yeah, like why not just do weekly?
I think you should do What If like that. Like drop all of What If at once, because that's such a bingeable show. I think it'd actually do a lot better as a binge. And then Echo have it be a 6-episode event type thing.
Right.
I don't know. Whatever. It's fine.
But I've liked the fact that a lot of their content lately have been a little bit more mature than usual. Like Andor was a little bit more of a mature Star Wars show.
Yeah.
Like Ahsoka was still fun, and it was, it's not like kiddie fod or anything, but
Yeah.
And like now we're starting to get a little bit more, and I think it's needed. So, and I agree with Noah. I loved Hawkeye.
Hawkeye's so much fun, man.
I'm getting ready. As soon as it hit December, I will be watching it.
I think honestly, actually, I think it lines up very well, because like through Christmas season, I can be watching Hawkeye, and then the following month, this comes out.
Right. So
yeah, that'd be a good way to do it.
I'm definitely.
I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm trying not to.
I was watching
waste
Home Alone in the background.
Yeah, I'm trying not to waste all my thoughts now, but I'm definitely. I'm excited now. Like I can say I am excited now. Like I was curious at a point. It's definitely very like Netflix. Like this feels like Netflix made like a spinoff to like Daredevil with like Kingpin. Like it feels straight from that era. And
it's based on a comic with them, so I'm really interested to see if they're going to adapt a lot of it.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going. Like like again, like Daredevil basically completely scrapped it. We're starting brand new, and I'm curious if they have to cut around the show. Like if there was any major things that now they have to like restructure in this show to set, because this was like a prequel to like what that show was going to be. It was going to set everything up. Daredevil's in this show, which again I'm very excited for. He's in that red suit again.
That red suit, yeah.
I like the like yellow suit, but the red, he just looks so good in red.
It looks
It's
so
his,
good.
it's his color.
He must be
It
paying
looks like it looks like a Netflix show.
It does. It
It
feels
like the Netflix universe, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which it makes
it's only a matter of time. Like bring Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and Punisher back. I don't need Iron Fist.
Luke Cage was awesome. That was such a good series.
It was.
Jessica Jones was good as well. I love Jessica Jones, but Luke Cage,
I loved it. And Punisher was just off the wall. Like that show was. I need them three back. Iron Fist, you can recast and do something.
It's rumored he's in the show.
Bring Misty and Colleen. I like them.
Do you know what's funny? Right? Is if you mention
the fact that Colleen was the more interesting character in the show is kind of insane. Like
if you mention any Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. person coming to the MCU, you get yay. You mentioned Luke.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned Iron Fist. You get all of Tarja's reaction.
Yeah, it's just
like there's no one excited for it. There's not one person that's like yes.
Like I guarantee, if we got like a report coming out, like when they start over the Daredevil show and be like, Mike Coulter's coming back. I forgot the actress name. God damn it, who played Jessica Jones?
Ritter.
Like, yeah, Kristen Ritter. She's coming back, and then John Bertho. I guarantee you, everyone would be hyped. I don't think anyone would ask about Iron Fist or anything. I think those three coming back, they would be like, yeah.
That would be so awkward.
If they say Iron Fist 2, I guarantee you, every post is going to be like, we were happy until you say Iron Fist. I guarantee you.
It would be so awkward if they have like that whole OG cast back and it's just a new Iron Fist.
He was miscast.
I haven't seen the show, so I can't say.
Oh, you never watched it?
I have not seen a lot of
the guy who did Inhumans did Iron Fist. Even season 2 was a little better than season 1. But Colleen was still the better character. Like she was so good in that show.
Mm-hmm.
Like bring her back. I'm okay with it. Bring her back.
I really need to go through those shows because I've seen a couple. I've seen all of Daredevil, of course. I've seen the first season of Jessica, and I have seen Defenders.
Luke Cage is so good. You'll really enjoy Luke Cage.
I started it, but I never actually went back. I need to do it. I think before Daredevil comes out, I'm just going to binge the whole world. I think I just want to go like start to finish.
I just have a strong feeling those two at least will pop up. Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Because Mike Coulter and Kristen Ritter said that if they get a call, they said they would come back.
Yeah.
So
and there's no reason not to. Like just start fresh with like Luke Cage is such a massive character. Like you can do so much with that character. So much.
And you got more money. You could do more stuff with a bigger budget.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, and then because Spider-Man street level now, them two meeting up, like Luke Cage is gonna have no time for his nonsense. Like no time for it. And it's just gonna be so good. I'm gonna
and they're doing like secret wars and stuff with like this. I'm pretty sure the Skrulls will be involved in some type of way. Mm-hmm. Like that's a big storyline for Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. Like their daughter like gets abducted or something like that. It's been a while since I've read it, but like I'm just like it's a lot. They got like a whole side story.
Man, there's so many characters. We have too many characters to fit in these Avengers movies.
I know.
We got like 70 characters. Like just the MCU Prime timeline alone, we had like 60 new characters within Phase 4 and 5. Like that's not even including all the past characters they're obviously going to want to bring back, and all the TV people they're probably want to get cameos. Like,
I meant to say, I agree with your point when y'all were on Eric's live, and I think you said it. Either you or Eric said it, like Secret Wars and stuff like that. They'll like soft reboot and like keep who wants to stay around and who wants to leave, and just like bring in new characters. I do think that's the route they're gonna go.
Yeah,
they kind of have to at this point.
That was on my stream, I think. I think we talked about that.
I think you said it. It was one of the two. I knew you said it. I was watching one of the streams. Because y'all was talking about
Outer
Superman and
Worlds
Lois
coming,
last night.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm mad about that, but at least it's not canceled.
And we're gonna end on Noah's comment here. Taj, I am so here for the John Berthal Punisher in the Iron Man 2 War Machine armor. That'd be very fun.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Punisher in the Armored Wars movie would kind of go hard. I could see it for sure.
I would just be like, just give him the movie. Forget Rhodey. Just let him go around in the suit. I'm fine.
But with that being said, I want to thank everyone that was here today. Darth Bundy, obviously, as always, thank you for hopping on, chatting with all three of these shows. It shouldn't be this chaotic going forward because Gen V's over, and I can't believe it's gone already. Taj, thank you for being here. As always, we'll be probably be back next Tuesday with the Party Nation podcast over on Lance's channel. Thank you, Noah, for popping in. It was great to have you. We will have to schedule something and have you on for like a whole episode or something. Thank you for everyone who popped in today. I'm trying to see who else we had today. Darth Chosen, I think, was here earlier, right? So again, big 3 dubs. Thank you, 3 dubs, for hopping on here again. And not saying a single word because you haven't seen any of these episodes.
The fact that 3 dubs is actually tired before me is actually crazy.
I know. How are you awake right now? Out of everyone in our chat,
usually on the weekends after I don't have to do any recording or editing, I'm usually like Friday, Saturday, I'm usually good. Like I stay up a little late, but like Sunday I get right back to it. I'm just like, okay, Sunday I gotta put up my Invincible reaction because I'm busy tomorrow and stuff. So yeah, I gotta get that done.
Before we go, just for the record, I need to say I don't hate Loki season 2. It sounds like I've got like a lot of hate and criticism for it, but I'm really enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm happy.
Okay, on that note, bye-bye.